Tom Jarrett, 224 Crescent Ridge Drive. I've been attending these meetings, as you guys know. Some of the things that just got said during the work session sort of bothered me. One of them is that you're excited about this new opportunity at the Seven Hills Independence border. Do stuff you haven't done before. I'd like to point out some of the stuff you have done before. It's really got me excited. One of them was the Stone Ridge subdivision development. Mr. Foley was part of that. I don't know who else was on this group. So far, the plan that you approved there has cost the Stone Ridge residents, 55 homeowners, it's cost us $100,000 in litigation. And the quality of the work, the quality of what you approved, removing our backyards, and the fix is supposed to be $250,000. So that was one of the products that you, Mr. Foley, personally were involved in. The Biltmore was another project that we had the pleasure of having you guys deal with. The EPA inspectors were just there, had a meeting with Mayor Delaquila and Mike Barth about deficiencies in that plant. It would seem that you guys didn't make any provision for the proper handling of stormwater there. The John Glenn fiasco, the conditional approval of that was something I complained about at the time, and others. And sewer study was one of the things that was supposed to be done. Your approval was issued contingent on that. No sewer study was ever done. We've yet to see what kind of whiplash that's going to have for the residents. They made a comparison of peak flow for the school and peak flow for what they estimate they pulled off a chart somewhere. They did no sewer study. Another resident here, Ed Maslowski, determined that trying to talk to the engineer. You guys might have heard there's a new sheriff in town. The new council wants changes, and we really do need changes. And you guys have a burden to not only please the mayor, but protect the residents. And you haven't been doing that. And you need to start doing that. Just because previous administration buried this city in debt doesn't mean you give a carte blanche pass to anything that looks like you can make a dollar. Residents need to be protected. People need to know when they come to Seven Hills and buy a home, they're not going to have a scrapyard operating in their yard next week because you guys thought it was a good idea and recommended it to council. You're not going to have a council that rubber stamps your stuff anymore. We have people now that independently think. And you guys just better pay attention. I asked the mayor to suspend all of you over the John Glenn deal. And I think that would have been right. Mr. Bright is sitting on this thing. That's a travesty. He might have done some stellar work with you on the Rockside development. As a councilman, he failed us miserably. And ask any of the people in this room. And the last thing is making Project Next be part of the Seven Hills Master Plan. Project Next, by its authors, admittedly gave a snapshot of a market study they did at that point in time. The project was dated when they handed it to you. They tell you that. They told us that in the meetings. So to make Project Next some kind of standard to measure what you're going to do with Rockside Road development is ludicrous. It has no business being part of the master plan. It's a marketing study. That's all it is. By their own admission, it had no value when they handed it to you. It's dependent on what else Independence does. What else happens on Rockside. Market swings in what kind of housing might or might not be desirable. If you guys want to start waving the master plan in the air and saying this is good stuff to do, then start paying attention to stuff like maintenance of natural water courses. You guys told Common Pleas Court that you made provisions to take care of the Biltmore screening from residents. You lied. Now it's done. The Biltmore isn't screening from anybody. Stone Ridge gets to look at a parking lot. The people on Rockside get to look at the Biltmore. You lied to Common Pleas Court. That's coming back. That's going to come back at you. And you guys got to realize you have personal liability in what you do here. You can't just sell the residents down the river and go, oh no, we were working for the city. You guys will find out what it is to hire attorneys yourself. You better start making responsible decisions, period. Mr. Brady ought to just resign.
You said lastly, so I think you. Anybody else?
And this honesty, 1035 Joy Oval. I wasn't going to say anything, but I do support everything Fred said. I have a concern about, and I've been asking about this and asking time and time again, about the sewer. I'm connected to that sewer. That sewer, from my experience, and I've lived there for over 40 years, is marginal. And I have been unable to come up to get anyone to talk to me about what study they did and on what basis they approved it. And I would like to really mention another thing. As a matter of fact, this commission has written it into an ordinance. The so-called informal meetings that you talked about, where you meet with a bunch of people, and what's excluded from that list of people that may be invited to that meeting are residents. This was the type of meeting that was held where the decisions were made for that John Glenn property. There were a number of variances made at that, and in all respects, the approval was given at that meeting, which was totally secret. Now, the law commissioner really should have told you what an ex parte meeting is with the developer, and which in itself is not necessarily a problem. But when you discuss variances, that's considered quasi-judicial, and the courts don't look favorably on it. And what I'm telling you is that if I have any sewer backup in my basement, I am coming back at the city and the commission and this commission very heavily. I can't complain about this ex parte meeting that they held, which is not illegal but totally unethical, until there are damages. And when there are damages, I will come back at the city. Thank you.
I'll make one comment. I don't want you to assume that when I don't respond that I agree with you.
Can't hear you.
Anything else?
Could I add to what I said? I would really honestly advise you to forget about making informal meetings without inviting citizens. This could be a real problem, and make a big point about that. But if you have any kind of meetings with the contractor, it should be the public should be invited, and they should be informed of that type of a meeting. Okay, because this could come back and bite you.